I have no job. I have no regular income. I have no home. Everything that I own is either in my 30-litre, I think, backpack and a medium-sized suitcase that I carry with me everywhere that I go. And the rest of my worldly belongings are in my storage unit, which is, I'm reliably told, big enough to carry the contents of a 2-bedroomed flat. And it's probably about half full. And periodically I would go and clear it, and then more things appear in it, because carrying a backpack and pulling a medium-sized suitcase does not afford you the luxury of carrying everything that you need at any one point. But that aside, I don't think I felt freer. I don't think I felt more content. I wouldn't say I'm the most jolly person in the world, but I've learned over the years that's because, for me, when I was really, really jolly and happy, I actually was masking things that I wasn't so happy about. And I genuinely think now that the person I am is the real person I am. None of the above, the no job, the no income, the no house, particularly worry me anymore. You're probably thinking, goodness me, this woman's on a bit of a strange journey. Maybe so, maybe so. But I am 59 years old in a few days, and beginning what I think is the most exciting part of my life so far. 8 years ago, November the 2nd, she says, trying to remember, 2018, I left the UK to go travelling, ostensibly just for a year. There were so many things that I wanted to do. My life to that point had been really very busy, full of lots of things, which I'm sure at some point I'll tell you about. But I had set myself up to such a point that I could work online. I was running my own business, a charity, in fact. And my children had all grown up, and I thought, I'm going to go travelling just for a year, see a bit more of the world, and then I'll come back to the UK and I'll settle back down. Well, here we are, all those years later, August 2026, and I still haven't settled down. I house sit now. So I've been house sitting full time, pretty much, I would say, for the last 3 years. In the last 8 years, I have visited 40 countries, some of them house sitting, most of them whilst just travelling from one place to another. So I'm lucky. I've seen a lot of the world that I wanted to see. There are, of course, many, many more places out there for me to see. But I would say about 18 months ago, I got to a point where I realised that I didn't want to keep travelling anymore. Yet I'd got myself into a lifestyle where travel was what my life was all about. And so I had to do some very serious thinking. And I found that that serious thinking led me to so many big decisions. I didn't want to be involved in business anymore. That was probably the biggest surprise of all for me, because I've been an entrepreneur as long as I can remember. I've helped hundreds and hundreds of people to start their own businesses too. And through my charity, we've helped over 1,000 young teenage girls who are struggling with challenges and problems to stabilize their lives. And so I've always been someone who has wanted to help other people, and that's been through the vehicle, I suppose we can say, of entrepreneurship. But I didn't want to do that anymore. And I didn't want to keep traveling anymore. But I didn't want to go into a house or a flat and then the car and then the 9-to-5 job. I didn't want to do that anymore either. And so the last 18 months has seen me with so many questions, so many challenges to the life that society says we should lead, and the life that in my heart I knew I wanted to lead. I knew I wanted to lead a much more simple life, a much more grounded life, a life very close to the world that I can see just beyond the camera. Outside is nature, and I wanted to be closer to that. I don't like cities. I don't like lots of people. Ironic, considering that I'd spent, 8 years in airports and on buses and trains and traveling around with people everywhere. But I realized I didn't want that anymore. And in fact, being around all of the people made me quite anxious. I am quite a solitary person. I love my own company. Very happy to be on my own for days, weeks. I have no problem with that. I don't need to interact all the time to be happy, much as I love people. Please don't get me wrong. But I wanted a life that was more simple, more honest. There we are, there's another word. And so this last 18 months will become a theme throughout these first few videos, I have no doubt. I really have had to come to terms with a lot of things, and it has been, I would say, the biggest transition of my life so far. And I have been through some big transitions. It was like being turned inside out and having to examine everything about my life and to determine what really I wanted it to be. It's been a fascinating journey. It's been a frightening journey. It's been a soul-destroying journey. It's been a very happy journey. It's been all of everything. But I come now to this place, as I say, a handful of days before my 59th birthday, my 60th year. And I really do feel I've got it right now. I know what it is that I want to do, and I want to share that with you. And I want to share my journey with you. So many people through the years who I've met as I've been traveling around, whether that's been here in the UK or whether it's been overseas, have been quite surprised by the fact that I have no home, that I'd packed everything into storage 8 years-ish ago and had just decided to wander around the world and enjoy what I was seeing. I'm a bit of a magpie. I love seeing sparkly things, bright things, exciting things. And they wanted to know, well, why do you do this? What do your family think? Where are your friends? What about all your stuff in storage? What about when you need a home because you're poorly or you just need a rest? And so I would answer all of the questions and I would think, wow, they're very interested. And a lot of them would say, I don't have the courage to do what you're doing, but I wish I did. And I would think, I don't think it's courageous to go traveling. I think it's more courageous to feel stuck in something and to keep going. I at least had decided I didn't want to be stuck in the same anymore. And so traveling seemed the only option whilst I figured out what the new was going to be. And as I say, the last 18 months has really been that test and challenge around what that new life was going to look like. So that's why I have set up this channel. It's to talk about big transitions. It's to share my experience of traveling, of going through transitions, of building a new life, because what I'm about to share with you, I think, is quite unusual. Not many people want to live, can live, maybe, the sort of life I'm planning to live. So let me share it with you. Excited hands. I am currently sorting out my storage unit, which I will share with you over the next videos. And I have to get this big container down to a very small amount of boxes, because what I'm going to be doing early next year, early 2027, losing track of the years, let alone the dates, is I'm going to be building my own tiny home. I've decided I don't want to keep traveling for now. I've decided I need some time in a very simple, grounded, honest life, as I said at the start of the video. And so I think I know how I'm going to build it. I'm going to try and build as much of it as I can myself. I have no experience of building homes. I have no experience of finding land. I can't buy land. It's very difficult to find land to put tiny homes on in the UK. And so the next few months will be taken up with finding a friendly landowner somewhere in the south of England who will let me put my tiny home on their land. And then, as I say, build it from there. I think I know what I'm going to be doing, and I'll share that with you over the next few weeks and months. So I have a rough idea of how I think I'm going to build it. I know roughly the measurements of how everything needs to look. But yes, can you imagine taking a storage container that fits a 2-bedroom flat, the contents of that, into a tiny home, which I estimate will probably be 22 to 24 foot by about 8 foot. Yeah, it's not going to be easy. And I've got to sleep in it and live in it. It's not as if I can take everything out of the storage unit and just use that as a storage unit. No, no, no. I will be living in it. So that's the journey. That's where we're going to be going over the next few months and years. And I'm really excited, trepidatious. Part of me is thinking, oh my goodness, really, all the challenges you've set yourself over the years, this really has to be the biggest. But I am always someone who is up for a challenge. And, what is life if you don't have a challenge? So I have no job. I gave my job up. I've been running my own charity, as I said. I then handed that to a new team, took some time to not work, and then went to work for someone else. Well, I left that job earlier this year, so no job, no regular income, currently clearing out my storage unit. Savings are almost gone, not quite. So yeah, I also have to build an income over the next few months. There are other things I do. Perhaps I'll share those with you as we go. And the no home, well, that will be sorted. So house sitting for now, and the new home from next year. So I really hope you'll join me on this journey. I would love to share what I learn with you, and please share what you know with me, because I will definitely have questions about finding land, about designing my tiny home, building my tiny home, living in it, and then traveling and being in this world of not really being connected to big society, as I call it. I will be off-grid in my tiny home. And when I say off-grid, I mean off-grid pretty much 100%. And that's not just the home, that's me and my lifestyle. I've never felt I've fitted in. The sort of life I've built at the moment has reinforced that and has allowed me to interact when I need to and to step back when I don't. And I'm happy with that. But I need to do more. So yeah, exciting times ahead. If you've watched to the end of this slightly rambling, unscripted, as you can tell, slightly nervous first video, thank you. Oh, and I should probably say, I'm Ali. Didn't even introduce myself. I'm Ali. Alison, but Ali, I'm only called Alison when I've been naughty. And I tend not to be naughty these days. So please call me Ali. And thank you again. And I look forward to sharing these next few videos with you as I begin this exciting next stage of my life. Thank you so much and see you soon. Bye for now.